My name is Hannah, and this is my year of less stuff. Hey y'all, so I'm filming what I hope will be a relatively relaxing, somewhat painless video to film. I'm actually kind of doing it as a test for my new microphone, and if this video goes well, I will be posting it on my channel. If it doesn't go well and the sound is all wonky, then I won't. I guess I'll refilm it at some point in the future, but if you're watching this now, then yay! The first time I filmed with my new mic, it went well. I am probably going to have posted a different video using this new mic before this one goes up, excuse me. Because I'm long overdue for my video about what I bought with my budget in February. Just at this very moment when I'm filming this, I've set up the mic, I tested it, everything's fine, and I don't have time to film that video because it's going to be like at least an hour of filming, and Joe is coming home in less than an hour. So I feel like I can squeeze this one in as a little mic test for myself, and if all goes well, then tomorrow I'll film that other video, I'll put it up on Sunday, and then maybe on Monday or Tuesday or something, I'll be able to pop this one up as a bonus video. So for this little test, relaxing, fun, little tissue of a wisp of a video in the middle of the front of the week, I'm just going to review the things that I bought from Sephora with the gift card that my parents gave me for my birthday. And I have 4 things before me. 2 of them I bought with the gift card and 2 of them came in the package. So I'm gonna like review the whole Sephora package that I got around my birthday as a result of this birthday gift. That's it. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. So if you are a faithful viewer of the YouTube channel Hannah Louise Poston, then you will have seen me talk about this order already in a recent Get Ready With Me. I gave you a preview. I told you what I bought. And the main event is this. It's the Tom Ford Cream and Powder Eye Business. What's it called? Cream and Powder Eye Color, and it's in the iconic shade Naked Bronze. Naked Bronze. Did I say that? I said it right the first time and then I said it again. What's happening? It's in the iconic shade Naked Bronze, made iconic, I believe, single-handedly by Samantha Ravndal. She's so obsessed with it. This is something I have wanted to try for years. It's like the perfect thing to buy with a gift certificate when your mission is what my mission was, which is to buy something that you would never spend your own money on and that feels like a gift, like feels super, super special. So my parents gave me the gift card and I use it to buy this. It's one like quarter step away from them having asked me, what exactly do you want? And me having told them this and then them having bought this. I basically turned the gift card into that experience for myself and for them. And I love that for us. I love that journey for all of us. So I don't really think of it as something that I bought. I think of it as something that I facilitated receiving as a birthday gift from my parents. There are a lot of things on that kind of list, right? There are like some Tom Ford lipsticks, there's some Charlotte Tilbury stuff. There are a lot of things on that list of things that I feel like I would love to receive as gifts, but that I wouldn't buy myself. And the reason that I chose this one out of all of them is that I have been so deeply in love with just like a shimmery, wet look bronze eye. And I recently did a Get Ready With Me in which I showed you exactly how I've been applying that eye in the day-to-day using the shadows that I already have. So in that Get Ready With Me, I used the Rowan shadows as a base, and then I used some of the Natasha Denona Cava from the Gold palette, which I have right here. I'll dig it out and show it to you. I'm still keeping it as I was when I filmed that Get Ready With Me, which I will link below in case you want to watch it. I'm still using this palette that I made when I traveled to Portland. I'm just so here for this right now. Really, it's just lasting and lasting as like my current dream palette. Usually I don't know why that happened. Are we having an earthquake? An earthquake would be rich. On top of all that's going on, an earthquake right now, that would be rich. At least we all have like a month's worth of food stashed under our beds now. I was saying that usually when I make myself a custom palette like this, I'll use it excitedly for like a week or 2 and then I'll dismantle it in favor of something else. This one's probably going on a month now. So yeah, that's amazing. I put this custom palette together and I have been using it for a month. So I just took Natasha Denona Cava out of that spot, and the one that's missing from here is Forge from Clionadh. That's actually what's pretty much all over my lids today, and the reason it's missing from here is that I popped it out of here and took it to work in a little tiny magnetic palette because it was our photo shoot today and I wanted to be able to repair this eye look if my eyes started watering. So here's Cava. I have Intense Pan on it. I'll swatch it for you. I know it seems like I've gone way off topic, way onto a tangent in terms of reviewing my Sephora things, but I haven't. I will make it very clear soon why I am going into detail about this eyeshadow. I hope that's in focus. Can you see how it's got like a really wet, sheer shine? Kind of like a warm, goldy, wet, sheer shine. So this is the eyeshadow for me for completing that grungy, bronzy, sort of rubby, smudgy, slept in, wet, glossy looking eye, because it gives that wet look, that sheeny look, but it kind of sets down creams that you might put underneath it, textured shadows that you might put underneath it, and it has its own kind of texture. It is everything to me right now, as you can tell by how much pan there is in it. So part of what made this an indulgent purchase is that with the bronzy cream underneath it, and then the shimmery sheer shadow that's on the top, with those two pieces of makeup, those two bits of makeup, I was hoping I would be able to build the look, the eye look that I'm currently obsessed with. Spoiler alert, I am able to, and it's effing amazing. I love it so much. It's a little bit against my usual ethos, my usual purchasing ethos, to buy a tool to complete a look or to effect a look on my face that I already can do, right? So I'm saying to you, like, I'm really into this eye look that I've been doing using the Rowan shades and the Natasha Denona shades, and I bought this because I felt like I'd be able to get that same look with it. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, it just doesn't make sense for me. Usually I would be like, I don't need this because I already am able to get the eye look that I'm interested in using the things that I already have. So that made this like triply indulgent. It's not just really expensive, it's not just luxury, it's not just priced in a way that means that I wouldn't buy it for myself with my own money. It's also like, it represents a kind of excess, or like a kind of doubling down on a certain aesthetic with my products. And the reason that I chose it anyway was that it was my birthday and I was spending a gift card on it, and I really wanted to try it, and I wanted to be able to review it on my channel, and I just let myself breathe outside of my usually pretty strict boundaries when it comes to deciding whether something is or isn't a good purchase, or like a good new member of my makeup family. I feel like with this journey that I've been on with dealing with the fallout of recovering from compulsive spending on makeup and other beautiful things, in this part of that journey, it's been as important for me to be a little bit gentle with myself and to let the walls be soft as it has to like keep staying on the straight and narrow. So I'm keeping myself on the straight and narrow with, you know, my budget and other things, but it's really important to me not to have this be like yet another kind of obsession. I feel like this represents like a kind of like a good sort of gooey, icky, sticky, indulgent choice that in its own way is very healthy. And to top it all off, the performance of this product is amazing. The thing that makes it great for me is two things. The things that make it great for me are two. One, and this is the thing I was the most concerned about, the cream is so moussey that you can blend it with a brush. Critical. I repeat, the cream is so moussey and it stays moussey for long enough before it sets down that you can blend it with a brush and you can get a seamless blend. Because I cannot get a seamless blend with my fingers. I don't know who is out here just applying cream eyeshadows with his or her or their fingers and then just like suddenly it like looks great and it's not patchy. Who is doing that? Is it you? If so, how? Because I cannot do that. It either needs to be something so sheer, like with the Rowan shadows, sometimes I can kind of do that if I really, really shear them out. So I'm kind of just pressing like a super sheer layer of crushed micas and a little bit of color all over the lids. I can do that with just my fingers. But to blend up above the crease, here's the thing. If you're just pressing it onto your mobile lid and stopping at the actual natural crease of your eye, then I can understand that you could apply a whole look in cream shadows that set down just with your fingers. Maybe the reason I struggle with it is because I have hooded eyes. So I always extend my lid shade up above my crease onto kind of my brow bone. And then I need to get this kind of like seamless gradient there that replicates the crease of the eye. It's almost as if I'm using eyeshadow to paint a false crease onto my brow bone. And it's much harder to do that. It's more delicate work. So it's hard to do that with just a finger. I need a brush for that. I need a brush to get that blend. And that's why I've always struggled with cream shadows. I feel like my thesis is blooming from me in this moment about cream shadows. I've never really realized it before, but now I do. That's why I've always struggled with cream shadows. I've struggled to get that shaping and that seamless blend, one, with my fingers, and two, before they set down. That was the one concern that I had. I was worried that I would start putting it on and that the brush would make it streaky or patchy, or that it would set and make those weird sort of like flood lines on my eyes before I could get the blend that I want. I should not have feared. The product is so well formulated, and it stays just moussey and soft for such a long time. It's nice and beefy, but like spreadable in this soft pigmented way. And it's just amazing. I always get a beautiful soft blend. And I feel like this all over the lid, basically it replicates the all over the lid sort of ruddy, rich, dark bronze look that I love to get with the Shadow 24/7 from the Jaclyn Hill palette. I do have a tutorial on my channel just showing my single shadow all over the lid eye look that I do with that. I like that shadow because it's really beefy and it's got this sort of like ruddy bronze depth, like brownie bronze, but it's so stiff that it's really hard. Like you really have to work to build it and build it and build it to get that look. And I feel like I can get that same look in like 30 seconds with this because it's so creamy and spreadable, and yet it's buildable. It's got those subtle undertones. And then afterwards, after you've got it all on and you're fierce and you're snatched, it sets down and it doesn't crease. Unlike the Rowan shades. And we all know that I don't mind the creasing. They've taught me to love creasing. I feel like it looks very glamorous. You look like you couldn't care less, but sexy. This is like, it gives me all of it. It gives me all of it. And it sets and it's smudge proof and the color is just stunning. And I just have reached for it so many times since it came in the mail. I have also been mixing it in with the other products that I like for that look. Like I've mixed it some with the Rowan shadows, which is so amazing. And it kind of like helps them to set a little bit more than they usually do. I've mixed it with some black, like some powder black shadow, because that was the other thing that I used in that tutorial if I want to deepen the outer corner, although this does build on itself if you want to deepen the outer corner. But here's the kicker. So the thing I was the most concerned about was the workability of this cream shadow. And I rarely expect or sort of like depend on the possibility of returning a thing. Like I never buy a thing and I'm like, well, if it doesn't work out, I can just return it. I used to do that a lot before my no buy year. I got into a lot of spending trouble that way. And that way of thinking about makeup especially is something that I've just kind of like cut out of my life. This is so expensive that I was thinking, if I truly can't make it work, I was prepared to maybe return it. If I truly felt like the cream was like not workable for me. And it just, the opposite happened. I love it so much that I'm not going to do this because it's not what I do anymore. I love it so much that I wish I had other colors. I'm not going to go buy any other colors. I'm just not. This is enough. But that's how much I love the formula. So my second concern was more of just like a curiosity about this shade on the top, which is sort of like a light sparkly champagne. Half of the reviews were like, it's the most beautiful, subtle, sophisticated glitter ever. And I was like, work. And the other half of the reviews were like, it's not pigmented. It's trash. And I was like, ooh. And then I was like, but is it supposed to be pigmented? Because it looks like it's just a topper. It looks like it's a topper, kind of like Natasha Denona Cava. So I kind of had my fingers crossed that it would be something similar. At least that it would have like that glitter and sheerness that would allow me to tap it like on the brow bone and to tap it on like the middle of my eye in sort of like a wet look way. It delivered so much more than I expected it to. So I'm going to swatch it here next to Cava. It's a little bit drier. So there's something about the Natasha Denona, these like really, really sort of sheer suspended glitter formulas that feels wet. I think it's more silicone-y. I don't think there's as much silicone in this one from Tom Ford. It's a little bit drier, but in terms of the shine, in terms of the wet look, it delivers. And I had been concerned. Well, let me show you the swatch first close up, and then I'll talk about my concerns. So you can see that it's not the same color, right? It's it's more champagne, whereas Cava is more of a warm gold. And I'm not going to get it out right now and swatch it because I realized that I was going to try to make this not too long of a video, and I'm still on the first of 4 products. But the other shade in the Natasha Denona palette, the gold palette that has this formula, is that like icy white version of this. And it's almost as if the Tom Ford shade, the powder shade that's on top of this duo, it's like a marriage of the two. It's like in between the 2 Natasha Denona shades. And I sometimes go for the icy white one in the Natasha Denona palette. I more often go for Cava. I love the idea of having something that's in between, something that's more of a champagne, just more of like a straight beige glimmery topper that really, really has that, yes, that sophisticated, wet looking shine that looks like gorgeous in dim light. You know what I'm talking about. I've been concerned about Cava because I've probably used more than half of the volume of it at this point. Tons of pan, and I reach for it several times a week, like maybe every other day. I use it a lot. I don't want to repurchase the gold palette. I'm not sure this is available as a single. And so one day what's going to happen is I'm going to run out of that shade and I'm going to have the whole rest of the gold palette left to use. And I've just been kind of thinking, like, I wonder if there's anything out there that could sort of serve as a replacement for Cava at some point going forward. And you could have knocked me down with a feather. Like, this is it, basically. I'm going to be fine when I run out of Cava because I have this, and this is like a huge amount of product. It's a big pan. It's going to last forever, and it basically serves the same purpose. So what a gem this is for me. And I love that I can just like throw this in my bag and take it with me. I can use it for touch-ups. I can use it to go from day to night. I can put on just the cream and just have it more of like a dull, smudgy daytime look. And then when it's time for dinner, I can just pop that shimmer on top of it. This is just really appealing to me right now with where I'm at. I feel like potentially the next time I go through my singles, I could declutter any excess bronzes because I have the gold palette and I have this, and that kind of takes care of me. And I've got my Rowan quads, and that kind of takes care of me. So any kind of, you know, any semi dupes for this, I feel like this is the one. I also feel the same way about this shimmery gold, right? I've got Cava, I've got this. I feel like I can just sort of condense it down to these guys. And then going forward, I just feel like the idea of a single product that serves so many purposes for me, like it serves, or that's not the right way to put it because it kind of just does 1 or 2 things, but it serves a purpose of so many different days, so many different events for me. Like it serves my makeup purposes for a majority of my life, basically. So to have a product that does that, to have it be an actual luxury product, which has a thrill attached to it, to have it be something that was essentially a birthday gift from my parents, which also has a thrill attached to it, and to have it be something that just performs so incredibly well and is just such a delight to use. It's the quintessential example of fewer, nicer things for me in makeup. And I feel really, really lucky to have had the opportunity to acquire it. So this has been like an out of the park smash hit. I'm really, really glad that I decided to go for it. I was, again, prepared to give it a bad review. Like I was prepared to be like, it's not all it's cracked up to be. But for me, with my makeup desires, which have to do not only with the kinds of looks that I like, but also with the way that I want to feel about the items that surround me. With all of those goals, it's perfect for me. I realize that I'm not wearing it on my eyes today. I don't have a demonstration to go along with this. That is what I should be doing. But again, I'm trying to just film this like quick little review. It's like a review roundup from my Sephora order. Of course, I will at some point in the future demonstrate this. It'll probably be a get ready with me. February was bananas for me, as you know, but one of the things I got out of it is that I really like filming get ready with me videos. There were a couple of times when I basically had to film get ready with me videos because I had no time and I needed to get videos up. And I had such a good time doing that. So I'm going to try to do more of those coming soon, and the first one is going to be featuring this, so keep an eye out for that. So this is the other thing that I threw into my package when I was spending that gift card. It is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick, and it's in the shade Opal 01. I don't need to go on at length about this, I feel, because I already reviewed it on my channel because I had a pretty hefty little sample size of it at some point. The way I feel about it now is the way I felt about it then. It's the most skin-like complexion product I've ever found. Like, it really, really does end up looking like skin on my skin. I think it's because it's very hydrating. It's very, very moisturizing. So it almost looks like I just put on moisturizer, and yet it provides some coverage. It has one huge downfall for me, which is that it is just, it's like a little bit pink toned and I'm a little bit yellow toned. I'm grateful that it's pale enough for me. I almost wish it were a little bit paler, which would help me kind of deal with the fact that it's a little bit pinker. But I can make it work. It's probably like just the exact perfect match, not brightening at all, when I mix it with a little bit of green color corrector, which I wear every day, so it's not that big of a deal. And what I've been doing is, again, I don't have it on today because I was doing something else. I had the photo shoot today, so it's like a whole other thing. I'll try to show you the swatch. It's a good enough match that it's kind of hard to see the swatch on my hand, but I'll swatch it next to something else. So this is the Stay Naked foundation in 10NN, which is the lightest shade. And it's a really good match for me when I'm trying to really blank out my skin and match my face to my neck. So it looks really, really light, and I do look kind of ghostly when I have it on, and it's like blanking out all of the contours of my face. But it's actually a really good foundation match for me. And you'll see what I mean about the other one being kind of dark and kind of pink. So there's the Bare Minerals one, and you can see that it just looks peachy on me, on my skin. And there is the one from Urban Decay, which is looking very white right now. It does oxidize the teeniest bit, but it does look very, very bright when I put it on my face. So you can see how this one would be like much more natural on me, especially sheared out. And this one's just much more of like a makeup-y look. Because just look how white my neck is, right? So almost anything that I put on my face, even if it seems like a good match for my skin, it makes it look like my face and my neck are like color blocked, like so different. When I put this Urban Decay foundation on, it really makes my face match my neck and it makes me look like a ghost. I'm just very, very pale, right? My unreddened skin, my skin kind of reddened on my face. My unreddened skin is just very pale. So I feel like this is actually my true match, this very pale one. But I have found this, I used up the whole stick when I had the sample because it just felt so good and nourishing on my skin. And if I'm gonna put something all over my face like that, then it's good for it to like feel good. And I guess what I realized is that I prefer something to like feel really good and healthy and nourishing for my skin, and for me to need to do a little bit of extra work, like mix in a little bit of green color corrector or maybe a tiny bit of like a lighter colored concealer in order to get the color match right. I'm willing to do that work for something that feels so good and nourishing on my skin. I think I'm gonna keep this for photo shoots, but I did go ahead and let go of my CoverGirl, the new CoverGirl Skin Milk thingy, because I just feel like I don't need like this and that. I just don't need multiple all over the face complexion products. It's like a lot for me to have one for the photo shoots and then one that I'm planning to kind of use in the everyday as like a nourishing base. And I actually ended up keeping, if you watched my sort of semi-declutter, you will be interested to know that I had said I was going to declutter this like brightening cream. It's basically like a white cast in a jar, which is like a really specific item. It works really well for me because I am very, very pale naturally. Like I am very, very white. And I have redness on my skin, so I'm looking to like balance that out. So it is kind of an ideal product for me. I hadn't really found the right way to use it because it's like a cream, but it's sort of like a makeup. And I've been testing it out since that declutter. I said that I was going to get rid of this and the CoverGirl one, but then I decided to just play with them that night to make double sure. I am sure about the CoverGirl one. I am going to give that away. But this one, I actually started to kind of like what it does. I'm actually wearing it today. I'm wearing it like mixed with a little bit of another complexion product. It just helps to kind of like tone up the color of what I'm putting on my skin, and it makes a nice pairing actually with this. I wish they would make a lighter and a more neutral color or a lighter and a more yellow color. It's a bummer. This is a situation where the shade range just isn't broad enough to include me. And I like the formula so much that I'm just making it work. And I don't love that love it. Like I would really rather have something that's perfect where you just need the one thing. I feel confident that I will use this whole thing up the way that I did with the little one because I just love putting it on my skin so much. Okay, let's quickly just review the 2 little things that were the perks in the package. I think I can bust through them and then we'll be done with the video. I got a little sample of the Tasha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I love it. I love it. I love the sprayer. I love how it makes my skin look. I love how it smells. I love how it feels. It feels nourishing. It feels moisturizing. Love it so much. And I would never, ever, ever buy it. I would never pay the like $48 or something for the little bottle. This is just a thing that is fun to be able to test. This is outside of my pay grade. And I wouldn't even want it as a gift the way that I enjoy having something like this, which is also very expensive. I feel like this is gonna last me for years. And this is like, it's a skincare product. Like you use it and then you use it up and it's gone. And then that's $48 that you just sprayed onto your face for a couple of months. And then for the birthday gift, I selected this Jo Malone Wood, Sage, and Sea Salt Cologne. For a while, I was considering spending the gift card. I had these items in my cart and this was out of stock as the birthday gift. And I was gonna just not get a birthday gift because all of the other ones, the milk, little tiny milk products, little tiny jars of Boom Boom cream, and something else, I can't remember, all of it, I looked at it and I was like, I just don't want those little tiny sample sizes of products like filling up my space. Like there wasn't anything that seemed appealing. By the time I actually did place the order, this was back in stock and I do like it. One scent that I don't usually enjoy at all is beach, like the smell of the ocean, anything that's like beachy, like ocean breeze. Those kinds of scents tend not to work with my body chemistry. And this definitely has that, but because it's got the wood sage, it's got something earthy grounding it, it ends up not going like all sour and weird on me. I think it wears pretty well on me. It doesn't have very much lasting power, so it only is noticeable on the skin for a couple of hours. I think that that's probably the downfall of this scent. Even if I really, really loved how it smelled, I would probably never buy it because I don't feel like it's lasting enough. I don't feel like it's powerful enough for it to be worth the amount that these Jo Malone scents cost. When I first sprayed it, I kind of thought I might give it away because it's so not me. It almost feels like I'm wearing someone else's perfume. But at this point, I've worn it a couple times. I've probably used about 1/10 of the bottle and I could kind of see myself getting through it. I like it. I like it. It smells kind of like cozy and expensive, like someone treated me to a night in a fancy hotel and I slathered the lotion of the hotel all over me. So I feel kind of like not quite myself, but like a little bit indulgent and like fancier than I really am. And I might be able to use like a whole 0.3 fluid ounce dose of that in my life. So I'm gonna put it with my perfumes. And I think I'm due for a perfume declutter. I think this would probably make it through. But there are a lot of things that I think I can really let go of. Maybe I'll film that this month as one of my videos on the side. And that is it. 4 things have entered my life, but I am going to have already accounted for them in my video about how I spent my budget. When you see this, I'll have already filmed that video and it will have already gone up and I will have counted these 4 on my sheet in that video. So I'm not going to do it now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of it. I do hope that the sound is okay. And if it is, I'm so glad that this much better mic is now in my possession and is now working. Okay, I'm going. We're done here. Subscribe. Are we saying that now? No, it's okay. Do whatever you want. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.